The morning in Princeton was wrapped in silence. Victoria Harrison was preparing breakfast for her daughter Emily in the kitchen while reading and rereading the email that had arrived the night before. It was a job offer notification for a senior director position in the marketing department of a Fortune 500 company, the culmination of her 12-year career. The efforts she had built up while raising her daughter as a single mother had finally borne fruit. "Mom, you look especially happy today," 8-year-old Emily said while drinking her milk. Those clear eyes were Victoria's emotional anchor. "Yes, Emily. Today might be a very important day for Mommy," Victoria answered, gently stroking her daughter's hair. However, complex emotions swirled in the depths of her heart. Who could she share this joy with? Since her divorce 6 years ago, she had no family who truly supported her. She had her mother Dorothy and sister Ashley, but their relationship was far from warm. Dorothy, who lived in an upscale residential area in New Jersey, was a woman full of dignity. She had worked as an executive secretary at a major advertising agency for 30 years, and the network she built in the industry remained strong. Her knowledge and experience were certainly excellent, but she tended to use them as tools of power rather than instruments of love for her daughters. Her favoritism toward Ashley was particularly pronounced. Ashley possessed her mother's inherited beauty and social skills, and after college graduation, she had moved from company to company through her mother's connections. However, she never lasted long at any workplace and was currently living a carefree life with her mother's financial support. "Victoria is always too serious," Dorothy would often say. If she were charming and flexible like Ashley, she could have had a better marriage. No matter how many times she heard such words, Victoria never argued back. She didn't have the courage to completely cut ties with her mother, and more importantly, she believed that the presence of grandmother and aunt was important for her daughter Emily. However, the sense of alienation she felt at family gatherings grew stronger each year. Even at last Christmas, when Victoria reported her promotion to marketing manager, Dorothy's reaction was cold. "That's nice. But Ashley also has a new boyfriend, and he works at an investment bank. I'm sure it will be a good marriage." No matter what achievements she made, her mother's attention was always directed toward Ashley's romantic relationships and social life. Victoria's efforts and successes were dismissed as natural and rarely praised. But this job offer was different. Such a senior position at such a large company should be impossible for even her mother to ignore. Victoria decided to gather her courage and visit her family home that evening. She would leave Emily with her best friend Sarah and report to her mother and sister alone. In the afternoon office, Victoria received congratulations from her colleagues while conducting final confirmation about the details of the job offer with Human Resources. Starting next month, the new position would come with a significant salary increase, allowing her to provide Emily with a better educational environment. "Congratulations, Victoria. This is the result of your years of hard work," her supervisor Michael said with a genuine smile. "You'll definitely succeed at the new company too." Encouraged by these warm words, Victoria walked toward her family home. The next day, Victoria was organizing preparation materials for her new position at the office. Last night's visit to her family home hadn't gone as badly as she had expected. Dorothy had said "that's nice," and Ashley had smiled and said "congratulations." While it certainly wasn't the enthusiastic reaction she'd hoped for, at least it wasn't negative. When the phone rang, Victoria picked up the receiver with a light heart. "Harrison speaking. Is this Ms. Victoria Harrison? This is Jennifer Chun from Human Resources at Global Marketing Solutions." It was a call from the company that had offered her the position. Victoria's heart beat a little faster. "Yes, this is Victoria Harrison. Do you have a question?" "Actually, we're quite confused. Yesterday evening, we received a call from your mother, Dorothy Harrison. She contacted us saying that you were declining the job offer, but since it wasn't a direct communication from you, we're calling to confirm." The blood drained from Victoria's hands. The hand holding the receiver began to shake. "I'm sorry, what did you say?" "Your mother contacted us saying that you were declining the job offer due to family circumstances." Victoria stood up. The chair made such a loud noise that her colleagues turned around. "Please wait. I have not declined the job offer. Why would my mother make such a contact? Confusion crept into Jennifer's voice. I see. Your mother said that you, as a single mother, were taking your responsibilities seriously and declining the job offer for your child's sake. And she wanted to recommend Ashley Harrison instead. Something collapsed in Victoria's mind. Her knees gave way, and she sank into her chair. Recommend my sister instead. Yes. Your mother is knowledgeable about the industry, and she said Ashley has similar experience. However, it's unusual for us to hear such an important decision from someone other than the candidate. Victoria took a deep breath and answered with a trembling voice. Jennifer, I have not declined the job offer. This is a major misunderstanding. I'll confirm this immediately. Could you give me some time? After hanging up, Victoria explained the situation to her supervisor Michael and requested permission to leave early. While driving, her mind was in turmoil with anger and confusion. Why would her mother do such a thing? And did Ashley know about this? When she parked in front of her family home, she could hear laughter coming from the entrance. It was the voices of her mother and Ashley. Victoria opened the door and went inside. In the living room, Dorothy and Ashley were drinking tea while looking at magazines. Both seemed unaware of the seriousness of Victoria's expression. Oh, Victoria. You're early today, Dorothy turned around. We need to talk, Victoria's voice was low and controlled. I received a call from Global Marketing Solutions. Dorothy's expression tensed for a moment, but she immediately put on a gentle smile. Oh, yes. About the call I made. Why did you decline my job offer without permission? Ashley looked up from her magazine. Her expression showed not surprise, but rather hopeful anticipation. Victoria, sit down, Dorothy stood up gracefully. This was done with your best interests in mind. My best interests? Victoria's voice rose. Yes. You're a single mother. You have to think about Emily. Besides, such a big responsibility would be too much for you. Dorothy continued matter-of-factly, as if discussing the weather. Ashley is single, young, and flexible. An old friend of mine is an executive at that company. When I spoke with him yesterday, he showed great interest in Ashley. Victoria couldn't believe her mother's words. Mother, I've been working in this field for 12 years. I earned an MBA. This job offer was the result of my efforts. Efforts, Ashley put down her magazine and stood up. Face reality. An executive position just isn't for you. Ashley's smile mixed long-hidden jealousy with a sense of superiority. Mom is right. I'm younger and single, so I can travel and work overtime freely. Companies want that kind of talent. Ashley, you don't have my resume or experience, Victoria's voice shook. Don't worry, Dorothy intervened. When I spoke with my friend, he highly valued Ashley's potential. The formal interview is scheduled for next week. Victoria was stunned. Her mother had already arranged everything. Are you deciding my life without my consent? Deciding your life is rather dramatic, Ashley laughed. You're best suited to being Emily's mom. Cherishing family is wonderful, isn't it? Dorothy placed her hand on Victoria's shoulder. Victoria, you're a good mother. But the business world is harsh. I think Ashley is better suited to adapt to that environment. I've been living in that business world for 12 years, Victoria's voice trembled with tears. Yes. But this is a different level of responsibility, Dorothy's voice carried a hint of contempt. If you fail, it would cause trouble for my friend. I can't take that risk. At that moment, Victoria finally understood. For her mother, her own social status was more important than her daughter's happiness. And Ashley was her accomplice. That's enough, Victoria stood up. I'm going to contact the company and clear up this misunderstanding. Victoria, Dorothy's voice became sharp. I won't allow you to contact the company. If you do anything to damage my relationship with my friend, I won't forgive you. Is that a threat? It's reality. You should trust our judgment. Ashley sat back down on the sofa with a triumphant smile. Sister, don't be so angry. If I succeed, it will raise the prestige of our whole family, won't it? Emily could even boast that her aunt works at a famous company. Victoria couldn't say anything more. Tears streamed down her cheeks. She silently left the living room and headed for the entrance. Victoria, where are you going? Dorothy followed her. I'm going home, Victoria answered without turning around. Reconsider. This is for your own good. Victoria got in her car and started the engine. In the rearview mirror, she could see her mother and sister standing at the entrance. Both had expressions as if nothing had happened. Inside the car, Victoria finally cried out loud. 12 years of effort had been trampled in an instant. And the reality of being betrayed by the family she trusted most hit her like a heart-wrenching pain. That night, Victoria was shedding tears at her best friend Sarah's house. Emily was doing homework in the next room, and the two adults sat facing each other across the kitchen table. I can't believe it. Your mother doing such a thing, Sarah placed warm tea in front of Victoria. But it's still too early to give up. If you explain directly to the company, they'll surely understand. Victoria shook her head. My mother's friend is an executive. If I protest, it will put my mother in a bad position. If that happens, my mother will never forgive me. But this is your life. Are you going to waste 12 years of effort? I don't know. I don't know what's right anymore, Victoria answered in an exhausted voice. At that moment, Emily appeared in the kitchen. Anxiety about her mother's condition was reflected in the 8-year-old girl's eyes. Mom, why are you crying? Did Grandma and Aunt Ashley do something? Victoria pulled her daughter close. I'm fine, Emily. Mommy is just a little tired. But when you came back from Grandma's house yesterday, you looked very sad. I can tell. Emily's innocent words hurt Victoria's heart even more. She felt pathetic for worrying even her daughter. For a week starting the next day, Victoria continued sending her resume to other companies. However, positions as attractive as that one weren't easily found. Financial anxiety grew, and sleepless nights continued. Then one morning, while Victoria was looking at job listings at Sarah's house, a loud ringtone echoed from the next room. It was Dorothy's cell phone. The day before, when she had stopped by her family home to pick up Emily's forgotten item, her mother had left it behind along with the charger. Excuse me, your mother's phone is ringing, Victoria called to Sarah. But the ringing didn't stop and immediately started again. Victoria reluctantly picked up the phone. The screen displayed James Wilson CEO, the name of the Chief Executive Officer of Global Marketing Solutions. The phone automatically went into speaker mode, and a man's angry voice echoed throughout the room. Dorothy. What on earth are you thinking? Victoria tried to hang up frantically, but before she could, she heard the continuing words. The daughter you recommended was a complete disaster. She doesn't even understand basic marketing theory. She embarrassed me in front of clients during yesterday's important presentation. Victoria's hands shook. Ashley had already interviewed and started working. The call continued. Because of our 30-year friendship, I hired her specially, but did you deceive me? Were the qualifications written on Ashley's resume lies? Victoria's heart pounded violently. What had been written on Ashley's resume? MBA degree, 12 years of marketing experience, multiple success stories, were all of these lies? In reality, she only has new graduate-level knowledge. At that moment, Victoria understood everything. Her mother had submitted her own qualifications as Ashley's. James's anger on the other end of the phone intensified further. Dorothy, you've destroyed my credibility. In the executive meeting, the person I personally recommended turned out like this. How do I explain this to the shareholders? Victoria continued holding the phone with trembling hands. Sarah watched worriedly from the next room. Moreover, after yesterday's debacle, we investigated and found no record anywhere of anyone named Ashley Harrison earning an MBA. Her work history can't be confirmed either. What's going on? After a long silence, Dorothy's voice could be heard. It was shaky, but she was still trying to make excuses. James, calm down. Surely there's some mistake. Mistake? James's voice became even sharper. I had your elder daughter Victoria investigated. Her background is excellent. MBA, 12 years of experience, multiple success stories. It matches Ashley's resume perfectly. Is this a coincidence? Victoria gasped. The truth was about to be revealed. Did you falsify one daughter's background to get another daughter hired? Did you deceive me and the company? After a long silence, Dorothy's small voice could be heard. James, I believed in Ashley's potential. Victoria is a single mother, and I thought a responsible job would be difficult for her. Potential? James's voice became ice cold. I trusted you because you're a friend. You betrayed that trust and caused damage to the company. The clients are furious. They're considering canceling the contract. Victoria placed the phone on the floor. Her whole body was shaking. Her mother had stolen her 12 years of achievements and falsified them as Ashley's background. Furthermore, she had slandered her as irresponsible because she was a single mother. I want you to come to the company first thing tomorrow morning. Both daughters too. We need a detailed explanation of this matter. James's voice sounded like an ultimatum. And if this turns out to be intentional fraud, we'll consider legal action. This is a matter affecting our company's credibility. After the call ended, the room was enveloped in silence. Victoria sat on the floor and held her head. Sarah sat next to her and gently put her arm around her shoulders. You heard it all. My mother stole my life, Victoria's voice trembled. My efforts, my qualifications, my achievements, she made them all Ashley's and portrayed me as an incompetent and irresponsible person. But the truth has come to light. Your abilities have been proven. Victoria looked up. Indeed, this phone call had exposed the facts. But at the same time, it was clear that her relationship with her family had completely collapsed. Tomorrow, I have to go to the company. Mother and Ashley are also being called. That's a good thing. It's a chance to tell the truth. Victoria took a deep breath. After anguish and despair, the time had finally come to face the truth. The pain of being used by her mother and betrayed by her sister wouldn't disappear, but it was also an opportunity to prove her own worth. That night, Victoria prepared materials summarizing all her achievements. 12 years of accomplishments, MBA certificate, project success stories, letters of recommendation, everything proved her true abilities. After Emily went to bed, Victoria looked out the window. Tomorrow would be a turning point in her life. Her relationship with her family might change forever, but she had to have the courage to tell the truth. Never again will I let anyone steal my life, Victoria whispered softly. With determination for the new day ahead, she fell into a deep sleep. At 9 o'clock the next morning, there was a tense atmosphere in the executive conference room on the top floor of Global Marketing Solutions headquarters. Across the long oval table sat CEO James Wilson, HR Director Jennifer Chan, and Legal Affairs Manager Mark Davis. Victoria arrived alone and took her seat with the materials she had prepared. She wore a black business suit with her hair neatly arranged. She was trying to regain the confidence she had built over 12 years of her career, but deep down, anxiety swirled. Ms. Victoria Harrison, thank you for taking time from your busy schedule to join us today, James began with a grave tone. We need to clarify the facts about this matter. 10 minutes later, Dorothy and Ashley arrived. Dorothy was trying to maintain her usual dignified attitude, but clear agitation could be seen in her expression. Ashley had a pale face and walked as if hiding behind her mother. Now that everyone is here, James stood up. First, let me explain what happened yesterday. James described in detail the fatal mistakes Ashley had made during the important client presentation. Lack of understanding of basic marketing terminology, absence of strategic thinking, and most importantly, ignorance about the most important product lines. As a result, a $2 million contract is now in jeopardy. James's voice was stern. The client has questioned our company's expertise and is considering reviewing the contract. Ashley remained looking down, unable to say anything. Furthermore, our investigation revealed serious, false statements in the resume submitted at the time of hiring. Jennifer opened the documents. Ms. Ashley Harrison, you stated that you have an MBA and 12 years of marketing experience, but no documents exist to prove these facts. Silence continued. Dorothy tried to speak, but James raised his hand to stop her. Dorothy, before you interrupt, let me organize the facts. James turned toward Victoria. Ms. Victoria, could you tell us about your educational background and work history? Victoria took out the materials she had prepared. I earned an MBA from the Wharton School at the University of Pennsylvania and have worked in marketing departments at 3 different companies for the past 12 years. She carefully explained copies of certificates, recommendation letters, and success stories from past projects. In particular, for the new product launch for Green Tech that I handled last year, we achieved 180% of our sales target in 6 months. Mark Davis said while checking the documents, these backgrounds are remarkably similar to what was written on Ms. Ashley's resume. Dorothy finally spoke up. This is a misunderstanding. Ashley also has similar experience. Mrs. Harrison, Jennifer calmly interrupted. We hired a professional investigation company to examine both candidates' backgrounds in detail. No MBA acquisition record registered under Ashley's name exists anywhere. On the other hand, all of Victoria's records have been confirmed. Ashley looked up. Tears welled in her eyes. I just did what my mother told me to do, her voice trembled. What did she tell you? James pressed. Ashley looked toward Dorothy, but her mother averted her gaze. My mother said it. She said if I used my sister's resume, no one would suspect. And she said this job was impossible for my sister, so I should do it instead. Heavy silence fell over the conference room. Victoria felt complex emotions upon hearing her sister's confession. Along with anger, she also understood that Ashley had also been a victim of their mother. Mrs. Dorothy Harrison, Mark Davis opened legal documents. Are you saying that you intentionally provided false information and deceived our company? Dorothy attempted one last excuse. As a friend, I simply recommended the most suitable person. I judged that Victoria, being a single mother, couldn't handle a responsible position. That is discriminatory language, Jennifer sharply pointed out. Denying professional ability based on being a single mother violates our company's employment policies. James stood up. Dorothy, because of our 30-year friendship, I gave special consideration. However, you abused my trust and caused serious damage to the company. He turned toward Victoria. Ms. Victoria, you bear no responsibility. Rather, we are responsible for overlooking your true abilities. Victoria took a deep breath and answered. Thank you. However, I also feel responsible for this situation. I couldn't stop my family's actions. No, James shook his head. You bear no responsibility. Rather, we want to properly evaluate your talents. He returned to his seat and continued with a serious expression. Ms. Victoria, if you would be willing, we would like not only to restore your original job offer but also to propose a more responsible position. How about the director position in our new business development department? Victoria was surprised. That was an even more senior position than the one she had originally been offered. We want to compensate for our mistake in failing to recognize talent with true ability. We'll also increase the salary by 30% from our original offer. Dorothy stood up. Wait a minute. This is going too far. Even if there were problems with my actions. Going too far? James's voice became stern. You committed fraud. You're in a position where you couldn't complain even if legal action were taken. Mark Davis said while organizing documents, this time we'll forego criminal charges, but we need Mrs. Dorothy and Ms. Ashley to promise never to be involved with our company again. We will also report this matter appropriately within the industry. Ashley broke down crying. My career is over. Victoria looked at Ashley. At the end of years of jealousy and competition, Ashley had led herself to ruin. Ashley, Victoria said quietly. You're still young, so you can start over. But this time, with your own strength. Dorothy tried to assert her righteousness until the end. Victoria, I was thinking of you. No, Mother, Victoria interrupted. You sacrificed me for your own reputation. And you involved Ashley too. This is the end of everything. Victoria turned toward James. I gratefully accept your offer. I will demonstrate my true abilities in the new environment. The meeting ended, and Dorothy and Ashley left the conference room with dejected expressions. Victoria remained alone, gazing at the New York cityscape outside the window. The long battle had finally ended. Her relationship with her family had collapsed, but Victoria had reclaimed herself. A year and a half later, Victoria stood by the window of her new office, looking down at the vibrant Manhattan streets. As director of the new business development department, she had led 3 innovative projects to success and pushed up the company's annual sales by 15%. For these achievements, she had graced the cover of an industry magazine last month and was introduced as a rising star in the marketing world. Emily had made many friends at her new school. With the financial comfort that came from Victoria's success, mother and daughter had moved to a spacious apartment, and Emily had started piano and ballet lessons. Mom, is someone coming to visit today? Emily asked at the breakfast table. No, today is Saturday. It's just our time together, Victoria answered with a smile. However, that afternoon, the doorbell rang. When Victoria opened the door, a mail carrier handed her a letter. The sender was her mother, Dorothy. Victoria sat on the living room sofa with the letter in hand. For a year and a half, there had been no contact with her family at all. Ashley had subsequently found a part-time job at a small retail store, but she had heard through the grapevine that she was repeatedly changing jobs. Regarding Dorothy, there were stories that she had lost credibility in the business world and was being distanced by her old friends. Opening the letter, Dorothy's careful handwriting met her eyes. Dear Victoria, first, I sincerely apologize. Every day since that day, I have deeply reflected on my actions. Through my own values and prejudices, I tried to ruin your life. Using your status as a single mother as a reason to deny your abilities was shameful behavior as a mother and as a woman. Ashley also deeply regrets her actions. She is currently attending night business school, trying to build a legitimate career through her own efforts. Only after losing what we tried to take from you did we understand its value. I saw your achievements in the industry magazine. Along with feeling proud, I was devastated by my own foolishness in trying to obstruct your success. You were stronger, more excellent, and more wonderful than I had thought. I don't expect immediate forgiveness. But if there's ever an opportunity, I would like to meet my granddaughter Emily. I have truly changed. Having aged and lost many things, I keenly feel the importance of family. I hope you'll take time to consider this. I sincerely wish for your and Emily's happiness. With love, Mother. Victoria finished reading the letter and let out a long sigh. There was no more anger. Instead, complex but quiet emotions occupied her heart. Mom, what's wrong? Emily stopped piano practice to ask. A letter from Grandma, Victoria answered quietly. Grandma? It's been a long time. Is she doing well? At Emily's innocent question, Victoria smiled. Children were pure. Without knowing the complex circumstances of adults, she continued to have affectionate feelings for her grandmother. Emily, if you ever want to see Grandma and Aunt Ashley, tell Mommy. I want to see them. But won't Mommy be sad? Victoria hugged her daughter. Mommy will be fine. Sometimes time solves everything. But for now, let's cherish our happiness. That night, Victoria wrote a reply. She didn't intend to reconcile immediately, but she didn't completely close the door either. She wrote, let's take time and gradually rebuild trust. Monday morning, Victoria headed to the office with confident steps. A new project awaited. The pain of the past had made her stronger, and hope for the future shone brightly. Victoria had learned that true family is not about blood relations but about relationships where people respect and support each other. And she had proven that even when suffering from others' malice, if you don't lose sight of your own worth, justice will surely come. The new life she was building with Emily was a true family bond filled with love and trust.